Hello and welcome back to Lightworker Training. My name is Tatiana and I'm so grateful to be joining with you today to talk about embodied presence. So in this chapter of the Foundations of Healing, we have been exploring presence and we've been exploring the body, we've been exploring the significance of unresolved trauma, how to work with our imagination in inner realms to be able to go and clear some of these programs at the root cause and hack the subconscious mind where these programs are and rewrite these trauma-based programs to create something greater. So now we're bringing it back to the body, which is exactly what we do in that process of the inner world journey that I explained in the video called Go Within or Go Without in this playlist. You'll find that process. And in that process, we start with what we're feeling in our bodies. We go to the origin of that feeling, and then we come back to the body again. So here we are coming back to the body again. So let's talk about embodied presence. Oh, it sounds so cliche. We all know, I gotta be present. I gotta be embodied. I gotta be grounded. But let's just dig into that a little bit more and look at where we might have some challenges with that. Okay. So first off, it's really important to understand that embodied presence is just actually what you are. The fact that you don't experience it is what's weird, right? But not so weird when you consider the realm that we're in and how everything in the system that we've been indoctrinated into kind of inverts things and everything's backwards, upside down, inside out. So there's a lot of reasons why we don't have an experience of embodied presence. But the truth of the matter is that's actually what we are. We are the presence of consciousness in this embodied experience. We are the presence of infinite being, immortal souls, spirit, having a human experience, however you want to think about it. That is like kind of the baseline of what this experience actually is, right? We're spirit in a body. So the reason why I'm kind of getting back to basics with all this is so that we have a foundation and understand in traumatic events, which we've been talking about trauma and how it shows up, how we can work with it. But in traumatic events, sometimes our spirit leaves or partially leaves our bodies. And maybe our spirit doesn't come all the way back, or we leave a little part of ourselves here, part of ourselves there. And we're not fully back in our bodies. So when that happens, other stuff comes in. It's like, oh, you're not using that? Like, I'll use it. You're not eating that? I'll eat it. So different kinds of energetic, opportunistic parasites, entities, what have you, will come in. It's not even always negative entities. There might be just kind of neutral. They might even be like trying to be helpful, but they're not supposed to be in your body. That's your body, right? So that's a problem, right? If something is in there that's not supposed to be in there, or if something's supposed to be in there, like your spirit, and it's not in there, this is where the problems start happening, right? So this is very, very common, and it's very important to understand. And that's why I put a lot of focus on asking, like, is that even mine? Is there some other entity or energy here? Because we're picking up on stuff all the time, right? Um, so sometimes we leave, and in our absence, other stuff comes in, or sometimes we're being bombarded with something that's like an extreme boundary violation. Maybe even isn't that extreme, but maybe just persistent, boundary violations of other people projecting their crap into our space. And if we take it on, there's less and less space for us to be here. Things get heavier and heavier, more and more contracted. So it's really important to recognize where stuff has gotten in, and maybe you're checked out or haven't come back in fully from whatever it was. Could be a lot of different times that we kind of left ourselves out there somewhere. Okay. No big deal. We can always, always, always in the present moment clear the crap that's not ours and bring ourselves back. So our presence is required to sort out the self versus not self. Now, you might be like, well, how am I going to do that if I'm not really present? Part of me is over here. Guess what? If a part of you wasn't here, first of all, you wouldn't be listening to this video. And second of all, your body would be dead if your spirit wasn't at least somewhat there, right? So that whatever part of you is there and has the presence of mind, the presence of love available to it, that presence is absolutely required to, get down to business and start sorting out, like, is that me? Is that not me? We have lots of tools for doing this. I'm just giving like the basic concepts, mostly in these opening chapters, and then we're going to build off of that. So first we're going to get the information, we're going to sort through and process it, use our discernment, see what works for us, and then apply it, right? We got to be applying it. But start to get a clear grasp of some of these concepts, right? And hopefully you've started doing some of the processes that we've done so far in previous chapters. And in this chapter, we did a present moment awareness exercise, and we did the inner world process too. I just gave you steps for it to do on your own because for the inner world one, because I didn't want to like open up that portal in a YouTube setting. So I leave that to you to do in your own safer space than watching a YouTube video. Okay. But the present moment awareness, it's pretty chill. So I did walk you through that process on the video. All right, so when we are challenged, sometimes trauma gets triggered, and in that triggering, all kinds of things come up, right? So it's easy to be in a body, to be present. Well, is it easy to be in a body? If we're not being challenged, right? If everything's going okay, hey, we're here, we're in our bodies, no problem, but then what happens when we get challenged? So it could be that some old trauma gets triggered, and then you go into the emotional flashback state. So I talked about the importance of recognizing when you're having an emotional flashback, just even simply asking, am I having an emotional flashback right now, can bring more awareness and more consciousness. And you might get a hit like, oh yeah, definitely. And then once you're in a safe space to do it, you can do that inner world process and clear the energy. So every time trauma gets triggered, it's an opportunity. Anytime any of this crap gets triggered, it's an opportunity for healing. So we have to have this mindset of shit happens and we go, oh yeah, you know, it's a warrior kind of energy. When something comes up at you, rather than shrinking and going, and then getting hit with some shit, it starts coming and you rise to meet it and you go, yeah, this is my opportunity to heal everything that's being triggered right now because it's being brought up out of the depths of my subconscious, out of my body, out of wherever it's been lurking, packed away in some, compartmentalized somewhere in the body or somewhere in my psyche. And now, boom, it's right up on the surface. So, how wonderful. I get this opportunity to clear this stuff out. Really, really good mindset to have. And, it's okay to feel curmudgeon-y about it sometimes or mad, like, oh, I can't believe I have to deal with this shit. That's okay, but whatever it takes to get yourself revved up and ready to go to work, because only you can do this work. So sometimes, it's an old trauma that gets triggered. It's really important to remember that when you're having that flashback, the first go-to before you even start asking questions is just take a deep breath and drop your energy back down into your body. So your little body knows you're here, you're not leaving, you're not, leaving your body and traumatizing the body some more. You're getting present, you're like, hey, I'm here, I got you, babe, we're going to do this, right? Then you go in, do your process. It's okay if you feel a little bit wobbly, right? Because when we're challenged, oftentimes we doubt ourselves. We maybe start running some old, unhelpful, unloving, disempowering kinds of programs. That's fantastic. Whatever the painful thoughts are, hey, that's all grist for the spiritual mill too. That's all crap we can turn into alchemical gold, right? It's all for our learning, it's all for our healing, it's all for our mastery, right? It's all about self mastery. So all of these things are helpful in this sense. When you start to claim everything as helpful for you, it changes the game. Trust me, it changes the game. Well, don't trust me. Try it for yourself. See what happens. Like I said in my famous video, Don't Believe Me, soon to be famous video. Don't take my word for it. Don't trust me. Don't believe me. Try it and see for yourself what happens when you go, oh, you know what? I'm taking that. I'm taking that. I'm taking that. And I'm going to milk it and I'm going to get something out of it for me instead of just feeling like, oh God, another thing I have to do. Be like, yeah, I'm going to get a lot of energy from this. Boom. All right. So sometimes we doubt ourselves. We feel a little shaky. And you know what? That's okay. Every time we're up leveling, we're doing something new, it's going to feel a little awkward at first, maybe. It's going to feel a little wobbly. That's totally normal. It's going to get stronger as you practice, and you're going to get more and more trust in yourself. But I got to say that a lot of times, those kind of doubty, wobbly feelings and thoughts might not be yours. Think about it. When you're challenged, that's a perfect opportunity for some parasite to come in and just start hammering on you, right? Get you more triggered, start to feed off your energy. Those parasites don't want you to be like, Oh, right. Everything's for my healing. Thank you. Yes, I'm so grateful to be healing all this, getting tons of energy and power from it. No. The parasites want you to believe you don't have what it takes, you can't do it, you're totally screwed, whatever. So, really important if you're feeling wobbly, if you're feeling challenged, if you're feeling sinister. I just listened to an old Belle and Sebastian song the other day. I was like, oh yeah, I remember this this feeling. I wasn't feeling sinister, but I was feeling maybe a bit sentimental. So anyway, sometimes when we're spinning out, it's not even our old thoughts or our inner child or our trauma from the past. It could be, but chances are there's a lot of other crap in there, okay? Could be opportunistic parasites, could be other people's stuff, could be the collective energy trying to wrangle you back in because it wants you in the energy harvesting system, right? These are the hungry parasites. Yang, yang, yang. We're hungry. We want more food. So, very important to ask the question, who does that belong to? And you can make the command to send it back, return to sender. So with the challenges, it can be a lot easier if it's a thought, right? Like you're mentally challenged. You're like, oh, I'm on a negative thought loop. Yes, it can be hard to break out of those ruminations. Um, but it's pretty easy to change your mind. Now, it might flip flop back and forth, but it's pretty easy to change things on the mental level. We're going to go deep into the mental level in our next chapter. I love it. I love getting mental. So it's easier with a thought, easier to switch. With a feeling, it's almost like you have to kind of get through the wave of it before you can kind of like direct it into another direction. Um, with the physical, though, it can be really tricky, really tricky. It's a lot easier to change a thought or a feeling. And the reason why is because we've been taught our whole lives all of this crap about the body. There's so many layers of crap on physical symptoms, and what's really going on with the body. There's a lot of programming. There's a lot of toxic shit in the collective. There's patterns and history that we have with certain symptoms, especially. So when we have a challenge come up in the body, having symptoms that are challenging in the body, it can be very tricky to rise up in our consciousness and be that fully embodied presence when it's hitting on the body level. So, especially like I said, if you have a history of certain symptoms, if you have patterns, you might say, or if you can like logically see some kind of causation that fits with your programming, you'll go, well, of course, of course this is mine, and of course it's hard, and of course blah 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 because X Y Z, blah blah blah. So very, very easy to forget that it might not be yours. But it's very, very important to ask, because I've said this before, I'll say it again, and I'll probably say it again and again, that you can never, ever heal something that isn't yours to heal. Now, you can feel other people's pain. You can feel other people's physical symptoms in your body. You can feel other people's emotional energies in your body. You can feel someone else's, or you can think someone else's thoughts. So it's important to recognize it makes more sense with the thoughts or the feelings, especially the feelings. We've all had an experience of, somebody that we know is sad, and then we feel sad sometimes, and we go, oh, wow, I must have picked up on my friend's sadness. Like, we're very used to thinking of empathy in that way. But, and I won't say trust me, I'll say check it out, experiment, and find out for yourself, is it possible that empathy could include feeling other people's physical symptoms? Okay, so maybe it's yours, maybe it's not yours. Maybe it's both. Maybe you tune in and you see, oh, wow, okay, so a lot of that wasn't mine, but it feels like this little 10% chunk is mine. So out of all this energy, there's like that much, like 90% isn't mine. So I'm going to send back that 90% because that's all I can do with it. I can't process it, can't heal it, can't fix it, can't treat it, can't address a symptom that's not mine. The only thing I can do is send it back, right? Oh, whoops, I took somebody else's symptoms on. I'm sending that back. Now, with the 10% that is mine, you think I might be able to actually heal something if I don't have 90% of this other crap on top of it? Yeah, you're probably going to be able to heal much, much faster because you're just dealing with the part that you actually can heal. Can't even heal that stuff. So especially if something feels really stuck, overwhelming, historically has been a challenge, I invite you to tune into this and see how much of that energy is just something you're picking up on empathically, and return that so that you can focus on healing the part that is yours. Okay. So, and maybe none of it is yours. So this is really, really key. I want to put it on your radar right off the bat. I guess it's not right off the bat because I don't know how many videos I've done, but I'm still kind of in the beginning. We're just in chapter 2 now, so kind of right off the bat. So, okay. So suffice it to say, it's very important to know that, it could be stuff from the past. It could be, that old trauma is getting triggered in some of these symptoms. Could be that we're feeling other people's stuff. Okay, but there's this whole other level, and this kind of starts to get into like some of the mental stuff, but it does have to do with the body. So I want to address it here. Like I said, there's a lot of old programming and a lot of beliefs about the body in this realm, and many of them are not helpful. Okay, so you might have certain things that are coming to mind, maybe some beliefs that you have that aren't very helpful. So I want to put some questions on your radar for you to tune into, to go a little deeper into some of these beliefs that you might have that might be getting in the way of some very graceful healing to happen. So number one, what if, imagine, if you will, imagine a world where you assumed the body was always right. What if you assumed the body was right? Okay, so The reason I bring this up is because we have so many assumptions that there's something wrong with the body when there's a challenge arising within the body. Okay, but first of all, what if it's not even ours? We got to get rid of that, right? And then the part that is, are we judging that there's something about this symptom that we're experiencing that's wrong? Well, we go, well, but of course it's wrong. I'm in pain. Of course it's wrong. It just doesn't feel good. Okay, it doesn't feel good. Does that mean it's wrong? That expression, the body is expressing something. The body is saying something. Just because you don't like what it's saying, does that mean it's wrong? So this kind of goes back to that video. You don't have to agree or like it, right? You don't have to agree with what I'm saying. You don't have to like what I'm saying. Does that make it wrong? Maybe it does. But how do you know if you don't ask? Are you assuming it's wrong because you don't like it? That's called emotional brainwashing, I'm pretty sure. If you're not willing to look at something and see the truth of it because you don't like it, you don't like how it makes you feel, you don't like the way it looks, you don't like the way it smells, you got a lot of opinions about it. Maybe some of those opinions are correct and based on the truth. Maybe some of it's just bullshit that you picked up from the belief system that you were raised in. Who knows unless you do this inquiry? What if the body was right? What if the body was expressing something in the perfect way for the body's healing? Who's the expert on healing the body? Remember, did I talk about this yet in this class? Asking your body about what clothes to wear, what food to eat. Who's eating the food? You or your body? Who's wearing the clothes? You or your body? You're an immortal being. You're infinite spirit. You're an infinite being. You're the presence of love in this body, having this body experience. You're not this body. It's like, what do you know about this body? Have you asked your body about anything ever? So I'm just saying, like, maybe we could learn something from our bodies if we just stopped and had a conversation and tuned in. Be like, wow, I read 5 million articles online about what kind of diet I should eat. I never asked my body. You think your body might know what it wants to eat? Maybe. So I bring this up, and this is, if you get this piece, it has the potential to change everything about you and your body, you and your relationship with your body, the health of your body, the lightness of your body, the freedom of your body to just be a body. It's like, are you projecting your infinite beingness on a finite little sweet animal body? Are you projecting on your body? Okay, so that's probably lighting up a bunch of stuff. So I'm just going to ask that whatever that is be cleared in the perfect way. All right, so what if you assumed that the body was right? And what if, just as an experiment, you trusted the pace and the timing of the body? I was just thinking about this the other day. I was talking to my beloved and we were saying, hey, isn't it so cool that we can go around in this world and get poisoned every single day of our lives? And then, maybe 1 or 2 days out of the year, our body has a little cleanse and purges out all of this crud with some detox. The body will just detox itself, just like a bunch of snot coming out or poop coming out or whatever, right? And then we're good. Wouldn't it be cool if you just trusted that if you give the body what it requires, that the body will do things in the perfect timing for the body? So I think sometimes when we get on this healing journey, we just want to heal everything right now. That's great. And sometimes you really can't. And like I was saying, on the mental level, you can shift things pretty fast. And you can develop new mental patterns pretty quickly. On the feeling level, you can switch your emotional state pretty quickly, not as quickly as the mental, but pretty quickly. The body, sometimes you can shift things very quickly, and sometimes the body needs a little bit of time to calibrate or adjust or integrate in between. I mean, sometimes our minds need to do that too, right? Overall, our whole system needs a little time to integrate. It's like take a chunk, digest it, assimilate it, integrate it, practice it, work it out, and then take in a little bit more. So same thing with the pace of the body. Just trust, listen to those messages from your body. Your body might say, "Hey, I'm cooked." I'm good. I don't need any more Reiki or whatever. I'm good. I'm full up. So trusting that the body is going to let you know when the right timing of the body is. And if it's not ready to let go of something, then it's like not time for that to happen yet. There's a million other things that you can work on healing. And as you work on those other things, that might unlock something for the next level, right? So it's just level after level after level until we ascend out of this game or this earth school or this realm that we're in, right? So once we achieve one level of healing, boom, we're moving up to the next. We say, "Hey, I got that. I've healed that. Now moving on." So sometimes you have to unlock something in that level for the next level of healing to occur. So, okay, last question. What if you disidentified as a body? So this goes back to what I was saying about projecting. We as immortal beings have this sense of the perfection that we are in reality as spiritual beings, and this ideal of perfection, I think, sometimes gets projected onto the body, and the body isn't able to meet an ideal that's not in that realm. In the physical realm, the body is perfect, but if you try to compare it to your spirit, it's like apples and oranges. It's actually way, way different than apples and oranges. But it's not kind to the body to expect that the body is going to function as you as an immortal being function, right? The body's doing its own thing. So it's really helpful to disidentify as a body. This is just a temporary vessel that you have this beautiful opportunity to inhabit in this lifetime. And guess what? You're going to go through all of them. You're going to have all of the chances to inhabit all the different vessels and have all the different experiences that you need to have as a soul before you graduate from this game. So it ain't about this this character. It kind of reminds me of like doing the like creating the characters for Dungeons and Dragons. Actually, this realm is a lot like Dungeons and Dragons. It is like a dungeon. There's definitely dragons. um, but it's like, we just, for whatever reason, picked this or that form to inhabit in this lifetime, to have the experiences we needed to experience so that we could complete whatever our soul mission is here and then move on. So it's not really kind to anyone or helpful to identify as your body, but you do you. Try it out. I'm just asking some questions. So, what if you assumed the body was right instead of wrong? What if you assumed that there was some rightness about you instead of the wrongness? This goes back to claiming everything as you're healing and learning. What's right about this? Oh, I know what's right about this. I get to work on this. I get to take my energy back from that. I get to work on this skill. There's always something right about it. So let's take the win, okay? So, what if you assumed the body was right? What if you trusted the pace and the timing of the body? And what if you disidentified as a body? Do you think any of those things or all of those things would help to clear all of the trauma and all of the trauma-based programs and energies, heaviness that the body's been holding on to for all these years? Guess you'll just have to try it and see. So that's about all I wanted to say for today. Thank you, thank you, thank you so much for being here. And I look forward to seeing you next time on Lightworker Training. Bye for now.